getting ready to make kind of, I guess, my annual soap that I do. This is my no waste galaxy soap. So I save scraps of soap throughout the year and usually do like a galaxy soap, or I've kept the shreds and done like a rebatch soap. But I'm going to do this as my bonus entry for the December Soap Challenge Club. We are not allowed to use embeds in the main category, but I was going to do this anyway. So I'm like, you know what, I'll just make this and meet the guidelines with the different layers. It's crazy layers, or what's it called? Maybe it was crazy layers, yeah. Whimsical layers. You're supposed to do a different technique with each layer, and for the advanced category you have to at least 4 layers, and even though this is going in the bonus I wouldn't have to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and do 4 layers anyway. So I'm going to have some fun with this one using some really bright colors. I have my larger planets already in my, this is a handmade mold, this will make 40 bars of soap, so I've already got my planets in there. And then I have these little ones. These will be kind of my moons or smaller planets that will go on another layer. Now these are, some of them are pretty tall, so these will go up through probably some other layers. So I'm going to kind of like pick and choose on the bars, because you're supposed to have your layer that you're doing, your design layer, go all the way through. But you know, this is going to be cut this way first and then sliced into those bars. What I'm going to do, my first layer is just going to be black with the planets in it. And I divided up my batter in fifths, and then this will actually have 2 of those layers. That's just going to be the easiest way for me to do it. So I'll pour, and it's going to be black. I'll pour the black in there, give it a little shake, and then I'm going to pour the other half of the batter of that black on top of them, just to make sure that I'm covering like the tops of these. Then I'm going to do a mica layer between each one. I'm going to use this potent purple mica, and you can't really probably see in the camera, but it's a really dark purple with a little bit of a gold, but it morphs in CP, in cold process. So if you actually put it in there, it'll morph, but it makes a really pretty oil drizzle or a mica lime. So I'm going to do that. It works fine in MP, just not in cold process. I actually don't know if they make that one anymore. It might be discontinued. Anyway, so my first layer is going to be that. My second layer, I'm going to do drop swirls, and I'm going to use black again. This is the Activate Charcoal from Essential Depot, and I'm going to be using Blue Vibrance from Nurture Soap, and then just plain uncolored batter. That will be drop swirls, and then I will have my next planet layer, or my moon layer. And I'm, oh, and then, sorry, I'll have the mica line. I'm going to put the mica line between each one. This will be an in the pot, and I'm going to do black, and then this really bright pink and really bright orange. So that will be an in the pot swirl, and I'll probably pour some and then place the planets and then pour the rest on. Do the mica line again. The final one will be a one pot wonder, but I'm going to do it a little bit offset. So instead of having like the base color and then putting it down the spout, so instead of like having the base color in here and then pouring the colors there, I'm probably going to offset it a little bit because that makes a really neat design. I'm going to do black again, Activate Charcoal, and then I'm going to do this green and then the uncolored batter on that. And since this is 2 separate loaves that'll be split, then I'm going to pour it down the middle. So instead of going like from one side, I'm just going to go straight down the middle. So it'll kind of bleed out this way, those colors. And that should be it on that. Now, what I'm going to do a little bit differently on this one, because I know the videos will come out differently. I just made my main entry. I only had time to do one. And it was a little bit stressful doing, because I had 5 layers in that one, and it was actually different techniques on that one. Anyway, that one is actually still in the oven. I made it yesterday to see pop, and I'm going to get it out, cut it. But with that one, I had used a little bit of an accelerating fragrance, and then I had one layer that did not have any fragrance in it at all, and it took forever to set up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to divide the batter out. I'm going to do one layer, and then I'm going to walk away and go do something else. And then I'll come back and do the next layer, because I don't have time to, especially if you're not using a fragrance, and this is a slow moving recipe, it can take time, and I don't have time to just sit here. So I'll do a layer, stop the video, come back, do the next layer, and then do that until it's done. So I'm going to get the oils divided out. I already have them weighed to know how much I need per layer. and get that divide out, and we'll come back when I pour this first one. Well, I realized that after I split the loaf, I forgot to record this part, and it was actually just as well that I didn't, because I discovered that that top layer has soda ash throughout, and when that happens, it can cause it to be very brittle and hard to cut. It is not lye heavy. I did test it, and also when I measured out my recipe, everything was fine. So sometimes when that soda ash goes deep in there, sometimes it's an oxygen thing, sometimes it's a temperature thing, sometimes it's the additives that you put in there. Yeah, so I ended up with soda ash in that top layer. I don't have it in any of the other layers. Those are all nice and clean looking, but I did have it there. So most of the soaps were fine, where I just had to, like this one, I just have to trim the edges. That one's not so bad. So that one's got nice, clean, crisp edges. And then some of them are just super, super crumbly. So it's weird. I don't know why that happened. Again, this is not a lye heavy issue. This is a soda ash issue, which typically, and it does actually happen. Most of the time when I've had it happen, it's happened with activated charcoal, and there's activated charcoal in that layer, but that bottom layer is beautiful and clear. So what I'll end up doing, I'm going to clean these up. Well, I don't know how I'm going to do with these. I may end up just cutting off the top part and just have that. Actually would probably look pretty good if I just cut off that part and then trim the sides, and sell the smaller ones probably at a discount. But it is what it is. I did have some neat layers in there. I think I poured this third one a little bit too thin, because you really can't see the difference in the orange and the pink and the black. I was hoping for some more defined layers. If you look close, you probably won't be able to see on the camera. You do see some lines in there, but I was hoping for more differentiation like I have on that black and the blue. So most of these bars are fine. I'll probably go ahead and steam them. That can help with that soda ash. And these, I'll just clean them up the best I can. You know, sometimes things like this happen, and it is what it is. It's still going to be great soap. Of course, I'll let them cure and test them beforehand, but I'll get a final picture once I'm done and give you a final look. Okay, I feel way better about this than I did earlier. So I was actually able to save most of the bars. There was only 7 out of 40 that I had to take the tops off. And it actually looks really cool with that top off, and you can kind of see the pink and the orange in there. Not much of the black, but you can still see the design pretty well in there. So like I said, only 7 of them that I had to take the top off, and I was able to just trim off a little bit extra more on that top layer. So I was able to get some of those neat swirls in there, so that made me happy. So here is how they turned out. I'm glad that I was able to save them. So I will finish cleaning them up and get a good picture for you guys.